and things. It's funny, I was watching a show last night on Netflix, something to do about gourmet chefs going to the what was it, CIA, Culinary Institute of America or something.
Okay.
And just on the aspect of team, their first challenge was they had to pick a head chef out of a group of like 8 or 9 or 6 or 7 or 8 total chefs, and they had to put together a 7 course meal. So I guess it was 8 chefs, and they had to all agree or vote that yeah, this guy or this gal would be our head chef. And there was one guy that really impressed me. I'm like, wow, they don't know each other. They're just put in a room together, and they're really, he just stepped in and was like, how can I help you guys make your dish be amazing? And I think that translates also on the basketball court. How can I lift my other players up? Michael Jordan didn't win a championship until he had other players and he trusted the other players and was able to give up the ball.
Right.
You're right. And trust that they would be able to hit the open shot and so on. So I think a lot, actually, now that I talk through it, does translate to building an organization, selling real estate, doing those things. And then on the flip side, I do it just because I do like to eat food, and I eat a lot of it. And basketball is great for burning calories and getting out there and satisfying the competition aspect that I like, and sweating and getting the toxins out and just feeling good about yourself that you pushed yourself and had a good run. And I love to win. I love competition. So
well, you've seen me eat food before, so you know I'm also a connoisseur of the calories.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. My wife keeps telling people I have a hollow leg.
So between selling hundreds of homes, jet setting to over 25 plus countries, what's the one guilty pleasure food that you just can't resist no matter what? Is it Thai food? Is it a burger after playing golf? What's your one guilty pleasure food?
That's funny. I don't know that I have a lot of guilt because I've been blessed with a high metabolism, and maybe it is because of the basketball or whatever.
Right.
I don't really have a guilty, where I feel guilty. If I like it, I kind of eat it. But I don't know. Pizza is always a go-to. I mean, I love a good pizza, and maybe I'm not a big drinker, but a nice cold beer with a pizza. There's something.
Right.
Oh, it dynamite. But it's funny. I'll have a drink, and I'm a lightweight because I don't drink much. So like one beer, I might be a little,
Yeah.
My ceiling in regards to how much food I eat, or the governor, like on a golf cart, you have a governor, you can only go this fast.
Mm-hmm.
The governor of when I feel full just goes out the door. Like I just keep eating. I could eat a whole pizza myself. It's
Right.
like people are amazed.
That's good though. I wish I had that talent. I can eat it. I just don't know what the aftermath will be.
Yeah.
So I noticed in your bio, it said, I love Jesus, friends, and the outdoors. Sounds like a wonderful recipe for 6 days a week, especially the 7th on the Sabbath, on Sunday. What's your go-to recharge ritual that keeps you from turning into a grumpy person on your off days?
Yeah, good question. So basketball definitely factors into that. Having that running full court up and down, sweating for 2 hours, 2.5 sometimes, and getting that satisfaction of competition does help. You're sweating out toxins both through the pores, but also I think emotionally, and there's just a lot that exercise is a big deal.
Right.
So that would be something I would recommend people that like definitely get an exercise routine and don't be afraid to sweat. Like get out there and sweat. It's very healthy. It's good for you.
Right.
Not just physically.
I like to hit the sauna too occasionally.
Oh yeah.
If I have availability, nothing like going and sitting in a good hot sauna for about 20, 30 minutes. You really feel you feel much better once you get out.
Yeah. I would say the other thing outside of basketball is really having a set aside time where I'm in prayer, communicating with the Lord and listening, not just talking and where he's just hearing me all the time. He's a good listener, but he also talks a lot if you give him space and you tune your human spirit into Holy Spirit and just allow that communication to happen. It starts out as a small voice, but as you're more obedient and you're in tune with it, it gets louder and so on. So that combined with actually reading the Bible. I know a lot of people do devotionals or They may do, certain verse of the day or something. I
Right,
don't think,
right.
this is me personally. I mean, that's all good. Nothing wrong with it. It's
Hmm.
great. But there's something different when you really get in and consume the word being the Bible, and really just get into it, to study it, to learn it, to in my opinion, outside of Christ being the number one gift that God gave us to redeem humanity, the Bible would be number two, because that teaches us what the essence of God really is, and his character and who he is and all the multifacets, and you know um, just all the things. He's
Understood.
super complex, but he
Understood.
gave that to us to learn about him. So, but most people don't really spend the time of actually studying, not just reading the Bible. Most people don't read the Bible, but in my experience, but
Right.
actually studying it
So
and getting to.
are you more of a Old Testament person or a New Testament person?
I'm the whole thing.
Okay.
The Old Testament, I don't think you can separate the two, because the Old Testament is completely a precursor, and basically sounding the alarm of the coming Messiah and the redemption of man through Jesus. And
Right.
Jesus is actually mentioned throughout the Old Testament if you know what you're looking for.
Right.
They may not mention
Some
him by
people
name,
some people
but
just tell you, hey, well, that's Old Testament or that's New Testament, and I'm like, well, how do you really separate the two? It's one book, and it makes it difficult when people start referencing more so uh, old than new or new than old. Well, this was a precursor to this, so without this, you could not have the other. Sometimes I don't understand how people kind of come to that conclusion, but we have sometimes we have spirited talks about it.
well, it's good. I mean, I'll tell you, I think I can. If you're not really versed on the Bible, digging deep on it, then I
Hmm.
could see how people would say, "Oh, well, that's old. This is new. It's everything's new now, right? Just the name of it, New Testament." So the
Right.
old one, stuff. They don't realize that the old is the foundation for the whole thing of the new, and that
Exactly.
they do interweave together, and they're very important. But again, it goes into that studying it and really understanding what is in here, what is God telling us about him, and all that. And people are blown away when they actually study it. They're blown away. They go, oh my gosh, that is the most real, truthful book. I mean, it's raw. People are shocked on some of the stuff they read in there. They're like,
It's
whoa, it is
extremely
raw. And I go, yeah.
it's extremely violent. It talks about you know uh, sins, prostitutions. I mean, just you name it, and it's in there. And then it gives you the context, so you understand why things are said or done the way they are in other parts of the Bible. Who this person actually was. What I mean, it's just it lays it out so, and I hate to say elegantly, but it does. Again, like you said, you just have to know what you're looking for and how to interpret based on what you read.
Yeah. So those would be the two things in my life currently that really ground me and keep me energized and positive, is the aspect of tapping into, for me at least, the life force is Jesus Christ, and God the Father, and then doing that through both prayer and Bible time, and having a set aside, actually calendared block out time, at least 30 minutes kind of thing, rather than just 3 minutes read a verse. Now, is there days we travel? Am I doing it every day? No.
Right.
Do I miss it? I feel like I'm like, yeah, I want
I
to get
feel
back
gu-
into the Word.
I
There's
feel
something
gu-
about it,
I feel guilty when when something comes up and I can't have my devotional. Normally I'll wake up, I'll have my quiet time, and then I'll do my reflection and read my Bible verse or absorb it through audio book or whatever based on what the circumstances are. And on days when I can't do those things, I do feel kind of empty. It's almost like not going to the gym. You feel when you get
Yeah,
used to going
right.
to the gym and working out, you feel guilty when you don't go. So yeah, I totally understand that when you miss out.
Yeah, for sure.
So quick question. So you've been married to the amazing Lexi for years now. Uh,
Sexy Lexi.
I, like you, have basically a blended family. Um, what's the funniest blended family moment, like a holiday dinner or a debate over real estate stories, or what's been the funniest mixed family story that you can share?
There's many, and again, so Lexi and I were both married previously.
Right.
She had 3 kids.
Hmm.
I didn't have any kids from my first marriage. So when we came together, the blending was me and Lexi
Right.
and her 3 kids.
Gotcha.
So just to clarify. But gosh, there's many stories. We've been married now little over 9 years, been together a little over 13. Our kids are 27, 25, and 22. So I've been with them, you know, more than their half their life kind of
Yes.
thing, right?
Yes.
And obviously their dad's in the picture and all that stuff.
Right.
So
Right.
navigating all that. But the first thing that popped in my head when you asked me that, there was a time, an evening, actually dating. We weren't married yet. We might have been engaged. We didn't move in together until we got married.
Right.
But she went off to a women's thing or something. And so I said, "Hey, I'll take care of the kid.
Kids.
Like
Okay.
I'll come over and cook dinner." And she's like, "Really?" And I go, "Yeah, no problem. It'd be good for the kids and I just to have some one-on-one time or whatever." So I'm cooking dinner, and they've heard that I'm a pretty good cook. Lexi's like, "Oh yeah, that guy can cook. He just looks in the fridge and whips up stuff and leftovers and makes a new meal. That's what my dad always did." So I went over there and I said, "Okay, I'm going to do, if I remember, I was cooking some stuff on the grill." Now, Lexi never cleaned her grill,
Okay.
barbecue, but never cleaned it. And so I start cooking this meat, and then I have some rice, and I'm using her rice cooker, and it's a little like you got to kind of know it, right?
Right,
There's like
right.
You don't actually go to the line. It's a little
A little
over,
bit
a little under
over,
on water.
right.
And, when it's yours, you just
Right,
like, "Oh
right.
yeah, don't put that much water in," or whatever.
Right.
Well, I didn't put enough water in, and so I'm cooking rice in the rice cooker, and it's doing its thing. You leave it alone, right?
Right.
And modern marvels, and then I the barbecue, and I flipped the chicken or whatever, and it might have been pork chops actually. Anyway, and so we're talking at the table because I'm on timer. I'm like, "Oh, I got this dial. It's all
Right.
good. Like, the meat's good, not ready yet. Flipped it a little bit ago. We're good." And then one of the kids, and I think it was maybe our daughter. I don't remember exactly who it was, but they go, "Hey, the barbecue's on fire," and I'm like, "What?" And I look over, and there's literally flames coming out of the closed lid, and she had a wood overhang,
Oh Jesus!
patio cover,
Right.
and it was going up like darn near
Into
the bottom of the wood patio roof.
Right.
I'm going, "Oh my gosh!" Right? Like, what do you do? And then on top of that, the rice. So I rescued the meat, because there was a bunch of fat drippings from all the
Right.
stuff
From
she
other
cooked
stuff.
that
Exactly.
caught fire.
Been there, done
And so
that.
I
Been there,
rescued
done
the
that.
meat. Yeah, I rescued the meat, so it wasn't too bad, although it got really dry. And then the rice, because I didn't put enough water in, was like crunchy. Like it was burnt on the bottom, like brown, and crunchy.
Right.
And that's what I served him.
Oh
And Lexi
Jesus!
was gone. And boy, did they still bring up that story, a decade later. Like, "Yeah, remember when Matt like made us dinner and it was crispy rice and, dry burnt pork chops? And, he said he was a good cook or whatever." So that one just comes to mind first. There's many.
Oh, that's hilarious though. That yeah, I can see where that could cause a tad bit of an issue after
Oh yeah,
after
it
it's all
was.
said and done.
Yeah, and I can't remember how I put it out. I know, like a grease fire, you're not supposed to put
Can't put
water.
water on it. I had one where
I literally drowned it with water. I got like a bucket or something and just dumped it on the barbecue.
I ran and grabbed baking soda because
Yeah, I didn't have it. It wasn't my kitchen.
right,
I'm
right,
like,
right.
this thing is like on fire. I got to do something here.
If you use a fire extinguisher, then the food's no good.
Yep.
If you use water, it could cause more issues because the grease and water don't mix. So
Yep.
I used, and this was actually not long ago. I wound up not cleaning, tired, just wanted. I think we were doing burgers or chicken breast. No, burgers and hot dogs. Whatever it was something that was greasy because we were using Wagyu beef.
Oh yeah.
And literally flames. When I looked at the temperature, it was like 700 and something degrees, and I was like, "How do I save this thing?" And literally, I went into the refrigerator and grabbed the Arm& Hammer baking soda, came back outside. I'd already taken the meat off, but it was hard for me to try to figure out how to get the fire out in that respect.
Yep.
Even when you close
Yep.
all the vents in the lid, I took the Arm & Hammer and just shook it all over and then closed the lid down. And it went out. It saved everything, but I just finished up in the kitchen because I knew it was going to be too difficult to clean that, then relight the pit. Nah, I was ready to eat.
Yeah. It was shocking to turn over when they say that, and I go, what? And I look out that slider window, and it's like flames that are 7, 8 feet tall. I'm like, oh goodness, this is not good. I can burn the house down.
So, as proud empty nesters, because I know we mentioned that the kids were out and about doing their thing now, and you guys travel all the time. What's the most ridiculous just us two adventure gone wrong? Maybe like a romantic dinner that was interrupted by some kind of animal or something, iguana or something, or what? Have you ever had something like that happened while you guys were traveling that was kind of different?
You know, it's funny. I wish Lexi was in here because she remembers these things. I just keep it moving. I'm
Right.
like, I don't log that in the memory bank, but she'd probably have multiple stories. There is one that she brought up that just popped up in my mind. You know, this is probably not the best, but we were traveling to Sedona, never been there,
Mhm.
by way of Flagstaff, and I think we were in Vegas, and then we went to Flagstaff, stayed the night. Well, anyway, we booked this hotel. Oh my gosh, the place, it looked good online. Like, yeah, that'll be fine, you know. Oh wow, it was a dive. Like it was like the Bates Motel kind of.
I was just gonna say Norman Bates special, huh?
I mean, it was like, oh boy, this is, and we were laughing. We're like, this is so. Most people would not stay here. They're like, they go, nope, nope. We're. I go, but you know, the Stewart's where easy going. It's one night,
Right.
It's fine. We're not entitled. It's fine. You know. I don't think we slept a ton, but I mean, it was like we were worried about bed bugs, like all sorts of stuff.
Yes, you sleeping with one eye open, one eye closed, one eye on the door, one eye flipping the sheets back, making sure. I can understand that one. We've had some pretty rough nights in some hotels too, and it's like, what the heck? You know, same thing. It looks good, has like a 4-star rating. You're trying to be as thrifty as possible because the ultimate goal is to spend the money that's allotted for the trip at the location, not actually getting there. So yeah, been there, done that, got the T-shirt.
Yeah. Well, I tell Lex all the time. I go, babe, if everything was smooth sailing, and without bumps in the road or anything, you would have no good stories. Like people don't remember. They're like, oh, Michael, let me tell you about this trip. We went to Florida, and it was so smooth. Everything was just so great. And he's like, oh, that's good. Good for you.
Yeah. If you don't have any, if nothing happens out of the ordinary, then you don't have any good things to share later on.
Yeah, it's the stuff you that kind of goes wrong or is difficult or that you kind of you have a story and you remember. Lexi more so than me. I forget them anyway. But
like you say, hey, you got to keep it moving, baby. Keep it moving.
That's right. That's right.
Thinking about money, I know you teach the Financial Peace University class with Lexi at the church, correct? Or you've done that before?
We haven't. We were on staff and did that for a number of years.
What's one of the lighthearted money lessons that you guys learned the hard way by doing like a bargain vacation or some kind of fixer up, some kind of comedy, something?
That's a good question, and I may go a little slight angle to it, but I think it'll help.
Go ahead. Yeah,
I think it'll help the viewers. So when Lexi and I got married, I was out of real estate. I took a break for about 4 years and came back into real estate. This was after the crash, of 09, 10, 11. I left in mid 12, came back in 16. We got married in 16. So, and I was off building a network marketing opportunity that took me across in Africa, Nigeria, and different places like that. And on those, you're working your tail off betting on the come.
Right.
that you could build this organization and get duplication of efforts where people will, take the
Reciprocate
ball
what
and
you
run with
give
it
and
like
take and
you and
run
see
with
the
it.
vision.
Right.
You
Right.
get some other leaders like you and so on. So in building this and betting on the come, I'd racked up about 80 something thousand in credit card debt, traveling to Nigeria back and forth and
Right.
raising up leaders there and so on. By the way, Nigerians don't drink a ton of coffee. They're more tea people. But
Really?
I digress. Anyway, so
I never would have guessed that.
and then Lexi was a single mom of 3 kids and kind of fighting getting a job, which was kind of interesting. She was on food stamps and just like we were a hot mess.
Right.
I tell Lexi she married me for my money, which is a joke since I was in debt 80 grand. Right? And her and her ex had tax debt of about 30. So I think we were well over 100,000 in debt getting married. And she was on food stamps, no job. I mean, single mom of 3 kids.
Yeah.
So,
been there, done that. Got the T-shirt.
Right? Yeah, I wasn't a great catch. She laughs. Yeah, boy, I was quite the catch too, wasn't I? I go, yeah. But anyway, so I said enough is enough. I'm tired of money running us rather than us running our money. And being in control. More month than money and those sort of things.
Right.
And I said it's because of debt. Because we work so hard to get money in, and then it just flows right back out to service debt, which it's making other people money.
Exactly.
Right? So I said, okay, enough. I don't want to be a slave to the lender. I don't want to, be in debt. Christ came, died on the cross to free us of debts and so on. And I'm going to say the same thing in regards to money. So she's like, well, okay, seem a little extreme. And I said, well, let's do this 9-week financial peace university, at the church. So we went through it, and I kind of dragged her kicking and screaming. She kind of had her arms folded, she didn't want anybody to tell her how to budget, and which is funny, no job and on food stamp. But anyway, I wish she was here because she would be
right.
But anyway, so by the end of the first meeting, she's arms are not folded, and she's kind of like, okay, right? And then we did the 9-week course, and by the end of 1 year. Our first year of marriage, we paid off over $100,000 of debt. She got a job.
Okay.
I got back into real estate, started building my real estate business and career and selling again. I didn't have a database because it was destroyed in 08, 09, 10.
Right.
People were losing their homes.
Exactly.
Sacramento was hit, one of the top 4 cities in the country. And so we just were bootstrapping it, building from scratch and just working hard and like living below our means. So some of the things that we did, I said, I still want to take you out on a weekly date. Right. And we're working off a budget, which is like nothing. And she's like, okay, how's that? What's that look like? Oh, no, I'm going to get you a massage. And we're going to go to the movies and da-da-da-da-da. She's like, you're crazy. I go, no, watch. So I took her to RC Willey. I don't know if you guys have RC Willey, but there's multiple stores, and they have like furniture and appliances and TVs, and it's a huge store.
Okay.
Well, they have massage chairs that are like amazing, like full body. You sit in them, they massage the feet all the way up, your neck, and you put your arms in and they massage your arms.
Okay.
So it's full body. She's like, what are we doing at RC Willey? I go, babe, here, sit down. I'm going to give you a massage. And they have the TVs up there. We asked the salespeople, I'm like, hey, can we change the channel? The Celtics are playing right now.
Right.
Oh, sure, sir. They go, how you liking the chair? I go, I don't know. I need a little bit more, like, hey, we got customers do this all the time. Yeah. We even do it on our breaks. So yeah, have fun. So I got us each full body massage. Then we went to the movie theater, and it was always on Tuesdays. And AT&T had an app or whatever called AT&T Thanks. And it would be buy one movie, get one free. And we would do it on Tuesdays, which Tuesdays in our area are already half price movies.
Okay.
So we would buy one at half price, get the second free. So I'd take her to the movies for $6.70. Okay. Now it gets better. To be truly transparent and revealing, we're sitting in the seats waiting for the movie to start in the previews, and she loves herself some buttered popcorn. I said, hey, you want some butter? She goes, babe, we can't afford the buttered popcorn. Like, it's so ridiculously expensive. I go, that's not what I asked you. I said, do you want some popcorn?
Right.
Well, how are you going to do that? I go, that's not what I asked you. Do you want some popcorn? Well, okay. How are you going to do that? I go, I'll be right back. So this is being really transparent, Michael, but I'm an
Right.
open book.
Right.
So I went out of our theater, and there's like 14 theaters,
Hmm.
movie screens,
Right.
people getting out of their movie. And at the time, this was pre-COVID, they had where if you bought the bargain bucket of popcorn, it was free refills,
Right.
right?
Right.
So I would wait outside another screen that had people coming out, and I would, hey, you're in used to be in law enforcement. I would kind of profile like, would I
Right.
eat
Do
out of
they
their
look?
bucket? Would I
Yeah.
eat out of their
Do they look
bucket?
like they would be cleaning up?
Yeah, exactly. I would, and and I'd see some straight laced couple, whatever, and I'm like, yeah, I'll
Right.
eat out of their bucket.
Right.
And so and the trash cans get overflowing, so they got to stack them up on top, and this because the people can't clean it fast enough, right?
Right.
Well, I just take that bucket, and half the time they didn't even finish it because it's
Hmm.
so much popcorn.
Hmm.
I'd dump it out, and you'd
And
look.
take it right
Then
back
they
to the
started
counter.
doing X's,
Yes.
and I'm like, oh, there's no X. So I'd go take it. I go, hey, can I get a refill on my bucket? They're like, sure. So I got the bargain bucket for free, extra butter, and went in. I come in. What? How did you do that? I go. God is good, man. Favor.
Exactly. Exactly.
So that was our date night. I mean, we didn't really scrimp. We got full body massages, we got movies, we got big
Sport.
bucket of
So you
pop.
got to watch the game. You got a full body massage. You got popcorn, and your wife. I mean,
And I took my lady out. I took my girl
exactly.
out for a date
You
night.
can't beat that with a stick.
Yeah. So anyway,
So with the kids watching you guys grow up, I mean, with the kids watching while they were growing up, watching you sell homes and play golf and do all these great and wonderful things. What's the craziest dad advice that they come back to you now and say, thank you very much for telling us or guiding us in this way?
here's what's interesting. I don't know that we've had much of them coming back and saying thank you for this
Hmm.
advice or that advice. They're still working through things and kind of figuring out. I think figuring out their own lives and the direction they want to go, and
Right,
taking responsibility. All the things that we all go through as we go from to teenager to going on our own, and
right,
and
right.
there's a point where you got to take full responsibility for your life if you want to mature and so on. So I don't know that Lexi and I have fully experienced yet them coming back and going, hey, I was really upset at you guys when you wouldn't let me do this or have
Hmm.
that, or you told me no for this, or you wouldn't buy me something and you said I had to go work and earn it,
Right,
save up the
right,
money to go buy it or whatever.
right.
Um, oh, I just had a thought. Here's a funny story. So our youngest, Braden, who's now 22, soon to be 23 next month, actually in a couple days. He when I was dating Lexi, and she's divorced.
Hmm.
I think she had some divorce guilt, which a lot of divorcees have.
Hmm.
And she was doing everything for the kids. I mean, they literally kind of had her wrapped around their finger. The three of them would be sitting on the couch watching Friends on TV and say, Mom, what's for dinner? And she's like, spaghetti. Oh, I don't want spaghetti. And then she'd think about cooking something different for them, or.
Right, because they
And
didn't
I
want it.
said, no, no. If they're really hungry, they'll eat spaghetti,
Hmm.
or they can get up and go cook something themselves. I mean, the
Right,
kitchen's available,
right.
equal opportunity. They can cook something different. Well, none of them had cooked. They weren't doing their laundry. They're teenagers now, right?
Okay,
And Lexi's doing their laundry and doing the cooking and doing all the house cleaning. And we got a house of teenagers.
okay.
Now, how I was raised is, hey, you got chores. You got, if we're not paying you an allowance.
Exactly.
There is no such thing as allowance in this household.
No.
There are expectations that you're going to do because you're a working part of the family.
Right.
But I grew up on 10 acres. My dad said, if you want to work out on the 10 acres with me, I'll pay you like a hired hand.
Right.
And if you're good, I'll give you raises and things like that. And I'll teach you something, how to build fence and build retaining walls and put sprinkler lines in and all
Hmm.
that. That's fine. That's allowance. You can earn it.
Right.
But vacuuming the house and doing the dishes, that's part of you getting 3 hot meals and a bed and a roof
Yeah.
over your head
So,
and all that.
somewhere to live.
So that's how I grew up. So I
Right.
come and Lexi's running around doing everything for these kids. I go, oh no, this no. this is not preparing them for life.
Right.
If we continue on this, and then eventually they want to go out in life, life's going to kick them in the teeth, and they're going to be like, "Oh my gosh, this is
Unprepared.
not
Very,
how."
very unprepared.
Yeah, and I said our job as parents now from teenagers forward is to prepare them so that they're ready for life on their own.
Mm-hmm.
And so I said, look, they're old enough to be doing their own laundry.
Yes.
And so Braden, our youngest, I don't know how old he was at the time. I don't think he was a teenager. He might have been 11 or
Right.
maybe 12. And he goes, Mom, this is dirty. I go, hey, bud, come here. Let me show you. I want to teach you something. He's like, what? I go, come on. We go out to the washer dryer, right?
Mm-hmm.
I go, this is a washing machine. And this, you put your clothes in here, put the darks and then the lights and put your soap and put it in, etc. And then you switch them over to the dryer. And he was like, thought I was being kind of a,
cheeky.
yeah. And I go, well, I kind of am, but I'm not. Like,
right.
We're not doing your laundry for you anymore.
Right.
So if you have dirty clothes, it's on you. It's because you didn't do laundry of your own clothes.
Exactly.
And so anyway, he didn't like that at first. And then the other thing that we would do is I assigned each of the 3 kids to have 1 day a week to cook dinner for the family.
Okay.
Because they were used to just being served 7 days a week. And I said, no, you're going to actually research what you're going to cook. Well, I don't know how to do that. Like, great, we'll teach you. Go on to Google search yummy, easy meals, family meals, and then you go through it together and I'll help you.
Get your recipe.
I'll do it with you, but you're going to be doing the dinner and it's going to be your creation. And, we're going to turn the TV off. We're not watching TV while we're doing dinner because Lexi let them watch TV while she'd make the dinner and they'd sit down and not talk. And no. We're going to come to the family table and we're going to talk about your day and we're going to have dinner. So it was like major change and they bucked it like crazy. And I was kind of the jerk. I'm the stepdad that's everybody says just be their friend. And I'm like, well,
no, you can't.
I think their dad's kind of just being their friend and not really guiding them.
Yeah, you just can't be the friend. You got to have some discipline in the house.
Yeah, and there wasn't any. So I had to take that role, which was not the most fun role, especially as a stepdad, because it's even harder. But so we haven't got that where they've come back around yet, Michael, where they're coming. You know what? Thank you, Matthew, for, being the hard ass kind of thing and doing that.
It's
for
coming.
us.
Trust me, it's coming. We've had the oldest boy comes in and he made a statement not long ago about wishing that he had gone to the military straight out of high school because his couple of his buddies went to the military when they graduated high school, did their 3 years and already back home, VA loan, vehicles, the whole 9 yards, moving forward. Some of them had disabilities, so they have, they getting disability checks. But the trades and things that they learned in the military are helping them do what they need to do, in life. And he just came back saying, man, that was something I know you guys told me about it, and I wasn't thinking about it, and now here I am, and I could be like this person, I could be like that person. They're already further down the line. Now, I will admit they're doing well with what he's doing, but it wasn't as easy as it could have been had he gone to the military and had that flag plant. Real estate at age 19, following in your parents' footsteps, right? So as a kid agent, what was that moment when the clients mistook you for the intern and didn't believe that you were the one that was actually the agent?
Like every time. I had a baby face. I mean, I looked young.
So how'd you trump your way out of it?
Well, so initially my mom and dad, they've been 50 plus years in the business. My mom was the #1 selling realtor in multiple counties, which didn't actually help me too much. It actually was a detriment to my own personal business because I didn't want to join their team. I love my mom. We would butt heads at times, at 19 or 20.
Right.
And I can be very headstrong and so on, and determined. And she can kind of dig in at times too. So we would kind of butt heads and grind. So I knew that I didn't want to join her team, so to speak. And there weren't really teams back then. But anyway, I wanted to do my own thing.
Okay.
And so, but I was in their office. They had a Coldwell Banker franchise. And I was there for the first 6 months to a year. and I would go out and start prospecting for clients. I'd get done playing 9 holes at the local golf course, and we'd be talking, and I'd have great connection. And they said, "Oh, we're thinking about selling," and I said, "Oh, that's great. I'd love to, give you an idea on how much it's worth, and do a market analysis, whatever." And they said, "Yeah, no, we'll call you guys." And I go, "What? When you say call you guys, what do you mean by that?" Because
You're
your
right.
mom, you're working with your mom. I go, "No, I have my own standalone business." They go, "Oh, well, yeah, we'll call your mom." So I was always under this huge shadow of this top producer, and we're in a country town. I'm in cool California, which the sign said 1,250 population. So everybody knew everybody. And so, they're not calling me, they're going to call my mom.
And
right?
that was Placer County, right?
No, that was El Dorado County, which is over the American River, 6 miles from Auburn, which is Placer County.
Gotcha.
So they're
Okay.
right next to each other.
Okay.
So I realized that I could not be successful at that young age selling up in cool in the foothills and country property because they'd all call my mom.
Right.
So I went down the hill, is what we call it, to Roseville, which is, cool's like 1,500. Hill's like, I don't know, 400. So I went down the hill. She didn't really sell much in Roseville and Rockland and kind of the city down there. And so that's when I really, yeah, but I'll tell you, it's still really fight and try to overcome the looking so young.
Yeah.
But what was really interesting that really helped me, at 18 years old, on my birthday, I signed up Amway.
Okay.
Now, if you're younger, Amway's been around a long time, super successful, multiple billion-dollar. They really kind of started network marketing or multi-level marketing in a sense back in 1959. And older people listen to this and go, oh, they have negative connotations with Amway because of the 80s or whatever. But when I saw it, my parents joined as a way to kind of maybe transition and get out of real estate and have a reoccurring income, because real estate were only as good as our last sale.
Right.
I'm 17 years old, and they're doing a whiteboard meeting in our living room, and he's drawing circles, 6 circles. You find 6, Anybody who's been in any of these things will be like, oh, yeah, I remember those days.
I remember those days.
And I'm sitting there, I'm like, well, I could do that. I could find 6. I mean, how hard is it to find 6? Give me a break. And then you got this reoccurring income. This is great. I'm ready to sign up. They said, well, you got to be 18. I go, oh my gosh. So I had to wait. And on my birthday, I had my parents sponsor me in Amway. And I went after it, Michael. Like I would drive in my car. I would go to the grocery store. I'd get out of Cool because it's a little town, nothing. Right. And I'd drive over to Auburn and these places. I'd go to the grocery store, and I'd go to the magazine aisle, and I'd start handing out cassette tapes that are like prospecting tapes.
Right.
Hey, listen to this. Let me follow up with you, while someone's looking at Hot Rod magazine or something.
Right.
Right. Or I'd fill up gas for the 3rd time that day on my car, put $5 in, and I'd try to strike up conversation with somebody at the gas pump.
At the pumps.
Like I'm working it. I'm handing out cassette tapes, and they're like $5 a piece or whatever it is to buy them. And I'm scheduling appointments to meet at their kitchen table at their house, and I just turned 18 years old. And I got to tell them on the prospecting, giving out the tape, that it's not Amway. Like avoid it where I'm not getting questioned, is this Amway?
Right.
And then get the appointment in their house, go to their dining room or their kitchen table, and eventually it's going to come out that it's Amway. And I'm an 18-year-old kid with a husband and wife that got jobs and houses and cars and kids, and they're like, I'm going to learn how to get financially free from a, are you still in high school?
From high school.
You know what I mean? So when people said, oh, you got into real estate and you went on a listing appointment, weren't you nervous? I go, well, I was a little bit, but I mean, dude,
after getting beat up with multi-level marketing stuff back in the day.
I mean, I was trying to sell Amway at people's kitchen tables at 18. So, I mean, that really was a blessing. It helped me tremendously in my real estate career. So.
Well, and that's kind of one of the things that I always talk to people about and laugh when people ask me about it being tough in real estate. And I'm like, well, when you work in law enforcement and you get shot at and people try to kill you for doing your job, And the worst that you could get at this point is somebody backing out of a real estate transaction. It's pretty much not hard at all to do your job.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah, when you don't
So
have to
true.
worry about that, then that's it's a blessing. I mean, you can go in any negotiation knowing that figuratively you might get killed, not literally,
Yeah.
in the
Yeah.
transaction.
Yeah.
So out of that transition from high school student to Amway salesman, um, did did they give you any advice for sales in that aspect that just turned out to not be good advice? Did it just bombed?
No, like it was one of the best training programs because they had recommended book of the month, recommended tape of the week to listen to. So my car, my little Mazda 626 LX with no fear sticker on the front windshield, I
Right.
remember. I turned that into a rolling university, man. I'd have Jim Rome in there. I'd have, all the big names of personal development that were pouring into me. And so, I it really was like head and shoulders above most 18 or 19-year-olds, not because I was something special. It's just because what I was putting in my brain and what I was learning,
The
which
exposure.
wasn't being taught in high schools or colleges, or certainly not colleges, in my
Well,
opinion.
and it's still not
So,
being taught in high schools and colleges. I mean, a lot of times they're still pushing for you to go to college and get a degree to get a job, to get a retirement, to retire at 67 years old, and to live happily ever after retirement. And that model just doesn't work anymore. It didn't really
no,
work back then, but it
yeah,
definitely doesn't work now. And I think entrepreneurship, real estate, Amway, just plumber can do that's going to put you in the best position that you could possibly be in. My personal opinion, after working between the military and law enforcement, to to do something better than entrepreneurship, because when you know that your family has to eat based on what you go and do, it makes you feel a lot different than knowing, well, no matter what I do in 2 weeks, as long as I don't get fired, then I'll have that direct deposit into that account. And that just kind
so
of,
true,
yeah, that just kind of puts you in a totally different mindset.
so true,
I
so
wanted to
true.
ask a quick question. So I know you mentioned about the multi-level marketing that you were setting up,
Yeah,
and you wound up being in the top percentile while you were doing that, correct? Before you decided to stop doing that?
yeah, yeah. Now, I don't want to say it's a little misleading. It's not, but I want to clarify.
Okay.
So I got up to about 5,000 a month, which would equate to being in the top 5%
Okay.
of multi-level marketing worldwide.
Okay.
Now, you could look at that and go, well, that's okay, top 5%, and it's that much, you're only making 5,000 a month, which I would agree. But what's interesting about that industry is it's getting to a point where everybody and their brother has at least tried it at one time in their life or something, or joined, have never gotten involved or signed up with
Mm-hmm.
something. Because so 1969 when Amway started it all, and now there's thousands of companies worldwide. So you literally have millions and millions and millions of people that are trying it. And the reality is the vast majority of that many numbers are not successful in it
Right.
because they don't take it serious like a business. They don't work on their own personal development to become a leader. There's a whole laundry list of things that they don't do to become successful in that field or business opportunity or
Right.
so on. Because
Right.
you can't succeed in it unless you're helping other people become successful.
Right. Understood.
Right. So you have to become a leader and lead others and inspire others. And that's part of the magic that makes it so amazing is you cannot succeed unless you help other people succeed.
This is true.
Right. So that, for me at least, when I got that, I'm like, wow, that's just really appealing. I like that because I love people, and it's fun when other people are winning
Hmm.
and succeeding, and they kind of give you the credit back. Like, if it wasn't for you either sharing with me the opportunity at that magazine rack or the gas station or whatever,
Right.
or at the airport, I I, I wouldn't be where I am today. Now granted they had to do it, but we're there supporting them, and I just think it translates well in life and business.
Hmm.
Also, in our real estate, especially, I'm with eXp very proudly,
Yes.
and so you can't really succeed in eXp outside of real estate sales unless you have a mindset of raising up other real. I'm talking about the revenue share opportunity that eXp has. That's
Hmm.
an you don't have to do it. It's an extra thing that's there for you if you want to take advantage. I saw it right away and I'm like, oh yeah, because realtors, you're only as good as your last sale, right? We're on that transactional treadmill. And so
Right.
I was like, well, wait a minute. If I could keep selling, but then at the same time share something that I really believe in with other agents that will better them
Hmm.
and is a better opportunity than where they're at. And I think I'm a knowledgeable and credible source for that because I started at 19. My parents have been brokers for 50 plus. I'm 50, so my whole life's been real estate. I've
Right.
seen all the real estate models
Right.
and I've done most of them. Um, I'm not going to keep that a secret. I'm going to share that. And it kind of translates really well in the aspect of the multi level marketing, what we were talking about earlier, that
Right.
you can't succeed unless you help other people. So if I have a realtor that comes over to eXp, I want to help them reach their goals and succeed, like you and Angela and many others. It's
Right.
like, okay, this is fun. Like my friend sphere has grown exponentially because of the opportunity of EXP, in addition to selling homes and helping clients and all that.
So basically, hundreds of homes sold, wizardry when it comes to recruiting, uh, top five status, real estate in general. You infuse realism, humor, humanity, Christ. Um, Give me a couple of examples, or kind of tell me about your EXP story. How did you go from what you were doing uh, down in the little country town to where you are now?
Yeah, looking back, moving out of cool and under my parents' kind of shadow, right,
Hmm.
and doing my own thing at a young age down in Roseville, Rockland. Um, I started with Coldwell Banker because that's my parents had a franchise of that. So I'm like, oh, I'll just go to Coldwell Banker down in Roseville.
Hmm.
And after about 4.5 years, I received a phone call from a gentleman named Don Yoakum, and he was the first team leader for Keller Williams in Roseville. And it was a new company. Nobody had heard of it. I mean, we didn't. It was Keller who, Keller what? Is that a paint company?
Right.
Sherwin Williams,
Right.
Kelly
Keller
Moore. Like,
Williams.
I kid you not. That's how it was. I'm talking 25 years ago.
Okay.
I was the 23rd agent in all of Northern California to join Keller Williams. Nobody had heard of it. It was
Okay.
a nothing company, really, in our area. Had success in Texas and was venturing out and
Right.
expanding.
Right.
So, anyway, I met with Don, and there were three things that really jumped out at me that I saw growing up my mom and dad do and have success, but they were kind of trapped in their success, only being as good as your last sale,
Hmm.
all these different things. And one, KW said you could brand yourself. I'm here at Coldwell Banker and it's all about Big Blue,
Right.
and it's Coldwell Banker. It's not Matthew Stewart.
Right.
And I'm like, okay, but they really are listing and buying with me. They say they trust me, they like me. It's me. I haven't got anything from
Right.
Coldwell
Not
Banker.
Caldwell Banker. Exactly.
Yeah. Number two was that there was a cap. And at the time, 25 years ago, there wasn't a cap. You just kept paying the broker on your split, and you could gradually work your way up the percentage from 70/30 to 75/25, 85/15,
Really? No,
whatever.
I didn't know that. I thought it was always a cap, but I'm new to the game.
Oh no, no, KW started that. That was like, wait, after I pay in our office, it was 24,000 to the broker. I don't pay the broker anymore until the 1 year anniversary. And they're like, yeah. And I go, well, that just makes business sense. Why would I
Exactly.
keep paying the broker? Like, I already determined it's not the broker building my business, it's me. I'm
Right.
out door knocking and doing all this stuff. So, okay. Yeah. So that was the second box. The third one was they said, oh, we have this other thing called profit share,
Mm-hmm.
not to be confused with revenue share. They're very different. Revenue's off the top, straight math equation, right? Profit is after all the bills are paid and all the monkey business with the operating principles and all
Right.
this stuff. If we have money left over, we'll share some of it with you,
Right.
right? And if we're profitable that month, and
Right.
if you sold a home that month, and all these if, and it's just there's not money in it. But it was the best thing going because no other brokerage would share their profit with you.
Mm-hmm.
Coldwell Banker wasn't sharing. So I went, okay, those three things, that makes a lot of sense. I'll make the move. And my mom, I called her up and she goes, oh, don't do it. I've never even heard of that. Keller, who? What is it? Don't leave Coldwell Banker. It's a national brand and blah, blah, blah. I said, Mom, I've not got one deal because of Coldwell Banker. Nobody cares. Like they half the time don't even remember what my brokerage is.
Mm-hmm.
So I said, I'm going. And if it fails miserably, I'll come back.
Right.
Like, I don't see that they're not going to take me back.
True.
A year later, I recruited them over to Keller Williams. Less than a year, I think. They joined. And I was asked at some point to become a team leader. I declined the job because I just saw the grind. I didn't want to be an employee. I really am like adverse to being an employee. It's just I didn't want to. I wanted to still sell homes, but then I could recruit agents on the deals that I'm closing homes with.
Right.
I just asked them questions like, "Oh, you've been at Remax for, looks like 9 years. So, what do you love most about it? What keeps you there?" And hey, I'm curious. Have you ever taken a serious look with your business hat on and had some curiosity about Keller Williams? Are you open-minded to at least learning about another opportunity that might transform your business?
Mm-hmm.
Or, and they go, well, yeah, I'm open to learning. Not everybody would say they're open. In fact, the majority of them say no.
Right.
Realtors are kind of knuckleheads a little bit. I mean,
Right.
I'm one of them. I is one. But, once we get grounded in something, we would rather stay in a comfort zone.
Exactly.
Which we already know
It's
that
all
there's
about
no change or growth in your comfort zone.
all about
and we
being
have to get
comfortable.
uncomfortable,
Yes.
right? But human nature, we will fight like a son of a gun to stay comfortable.
Yes.
So even though they know, if they were really honest, if we had like pillow talk and they said, yeah, honestly, Matt, I really don't like my brokerage, but I'm being really honest, I don't want to go through all the change. I mean, they bring up like, I got to get new business cards. I got to get new signs. I'm like, oh my gosh, are you kidding me? Like, who cares? That's nothing.
Exactly.
like there's nothing.
Be like, did you know we have a kit that you come to eXp, they will give you some of those things when you first get here.
Yeah. Most brokerages do. Like, it's just
Exactly.
it's just humans wanting to stay comfortable and not wanting disruption.
Right.
But they also know that there's no growth by staying comfortable. You got to get uncomfortable to go to another level and change your life.
Right.
So anyway, I got them over less than a year, and I was there KW for a decade. I was recruiter of the year out of the most profitable office in the world, which was Roseville KW in 04.
Mm-hmm.
And that was a non-team leader recruiter of the year. So I don't even remember how many I personally recruited. Maybe 9, 14. I don't remember. But that was the most profitable office, Michael. And I was the number one recruiter. That would also makes sense, was my number one profit share year.
Of course.
And I made $19,700 in profit share. Remember, after all the bills were paid,
right,
if there's money
exactly.
left, we'll share some.
Exactly.
Well, the sum that I got, the little bit, was $19,700 for the year.
Mm-hmm.
Now, an extra 20 grand, I don't get that from Century 21 or Coldwell Banker or Remax or Berkshire Hathaway, any of the others out there,
Right.
And I go, yeah, you're right. I was like you there too. So I'll take an extra 20 grand. But what I learned about eXp many years later was revenue share off the top, straight off the top, where the company only keeps 50% of what they bring in revenue and the other 50% goes back to us as the agents.
Exactly.
I was like, oh, that's not even remotely close to profit share, like not even the same league.
Mm-hmm.
It's a 15 to 20x value prop better. So I went, okay, wait a minute. If my best year was 20 grand, even if it was 10x better,
mm-hmm.
that's 200,000 a year of reoccurring residual type
income.
yeah, that type of income.
Mm-hmm.
It's not fully residual, but I mean,
Right.
it's like a reoccurring income.
Right.
I go, that is life changing. If you're
Mm-hmm.
bringing in 200,000 that just shows up whether you're sleeping, vacationing, whatever, that's a game changer for me at least. I don't need $1 million. Like I'll take 1 million, but I don't need 1 million.
So
And so that was what caused me to really open my eyes to eXp and
right,
get involved.
and that's what I was going to ask you. So you were at KW, everything was great and wonderful, and then you saw a star, you saw a little light, and it had
No,
eXp on it.
no,
Oh, what
no.
happened?
I left KW after a decade. I was part owner in 3 market centers, and then the market got the crash, 08, 09.
Right.
I left KW in 09
Okay.
and went to another brokerage that actually had revenue share.
Oh, really?
It was an early on. It's called Avalar. I don't even know if they're still around, but it was like 4 times. It was different than eXp. It was 4 times better. So I went, oh, 80,000 a year. Okay, and the reason my thinking different than I grew up seeing my mom be the #1 realtor in 2 counties.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, her best year 130 properties
Jeez.
without they didn't have teams really back then. So it was her and an assistant.
Okay.
And my dad would go put up and take down the real estate signs and put up lock boxes and take them off and fill the flyer box and and they just were this machine. So here I am as a kid, 13, 14 years old, and I'd get the call that says, "Hey, sweetie, they countered the counter offer, so we're gonna go back to their house because we have to get physical wet signatures because there was no digital signature.
Right.
There was no DocuSign.
That's true.
There was no texting.
Everything was wet. Right.
There was no texting. Like fax machine was the biggest breakthrough that just had come out. Right.
Right.
I mean,
right.
So everything was press hard. There's 3 copies, and we got to do it physically to get the contract ratified and all that. So I'm at home in a dark house now. They're out finishing to get the deal done, doing
Right.
what they need to do to provide for their family, but it produced this resentment and anger and bitterness towards real estate. And, they love their clients more than me and all this stuff that, when you're home making your own dinner, because they said you're going to have to make your own dinner.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense.
And it wasn't one time, she was doing a lot of deals. So when I got into real estate, I said, okay, I don't want to be like that. I don't want to only be as good as my last sale, and I got to keep running on this transactional treadmill. And she did it for decades.
Yeah.
I said, how is it that I could have an exit strategy from real estate and truly live my best life? My opinion, some realtors may not agree. I've had realtors tell me, oh, I love selling homes. I'm going to do it till, great. I will cheer you on and support you to do that. I just kind of think that maybe they haven't experienced the other side, that money's all taken care of.
Right.
And that they could do whatever they want to do. Travel, spend more time with grandkids, more time at the church, do mission trips, whatever is their real true jam.
Right.
And it could be selling homes, and that's great. God love them. But I just think, like, if you could build a reoccurring income, now you have true freedom because you have money and time.
Mm-hmm.
And I see these top producers, they have a record year. Hey, we did, 70 sales. Great job. You got the trophy for your, the plastic trophy or the plaque or whatever, which
Right.
a lot of companies are making you buy your own trophy, but I digress. And then they go, okay, well, what are you going to do next year? And they go, well, I guess I'm going to sell 100 homes. They're like, oh my gosh, that's great. Yeah, do 100 homes. Well, at what cost? I mean, okay, you're going to make more money. Are you going to get more time back? No, you're going to probably spend more time.
I think Brent mentioned that in one of the earlier versions of the Model Explained.
Yeah.
Where he basically, he talked about the fact that he made these other brokerages a lot of money, and that's all they gave him was paper certificates and plastic trophies. But that was no residuals. That was no, that was nothing tangible that he could put in the bank account that was going to take care of the most important things, which were family, freedom, and fun.
Yeah. Yeah.
Faith
stock ownership.
Faith is already in there, but those 4 F's, didn't have anything to do with a paper certificate or a plastic trophy.
Yeah, exactly. So, you know, so anyway, I went to Avalar and I was there for a bit and then went through a divorce and just the crash in the economy was like, it was a really, really tough time. And frankly, all I had done was real estate my entire life, literally from diapers on, because my parents have been producing ever since I was born.
Right.
So all I knew was real estate, and I was kind of burnt out on it, especially going through 08, 09. So I said, I want to do something else. And that's when I left and learned about the gourmet coffee and tea network marketing company. And I went, well, that makes sense. That's a residual. I was always looking for residual income so that I could get true freedom and have my time and money taken care of. Right.
Right.
And I thought, I don't drink coffee, but I know a lot of people that do. Like, it's like the number one legal drug in the world, I think. Like, I mean, they're stumbling and bumbling in the morning to get their first cup of, don't talk to me till I've had my first cup of coffee.
True.
And I'm like, wow, that is a phenomenal business when you think about it. It's a repetitive, every day, multiple times a day, 7 days a week till they die. I'm like, wow.
Somebody's drinking it. Somebody's drinking it.
Yeah. So I thought, well, that'd be great. That's a true residual income. So, but I didn't get the level of success that I needed or wanted and what I was used to, at least minimum money wise, doing real estate,
right?
Let alone more. So after 4 years of really working hard to realize the dream, I had a come to Jesus moment in Port Harcourt, Nigeria, staying at one of my leaders' homes. They're beautiful people. They gave me their master bedroom, even though I thought I'd sleep on the couch. They said, no, take our, well, they would have roving blackouts and turn the power off, and so they wouldn't run the air conditioning at night.
Ooh.
And it was like
warm.
when people say it's like Africa hot, like there's a reason there's that saying. It's like Africa hot. I'm laying there, no covers on me, and I'm sweating down my face. You feel the drips come down.
Right.
I'm like, oh my gosh, this is miserable. And then I felt something. I'm in the dark. I felt something crawl on my leg. And it freaked me out. I got my phone, put my light on, and there's this fatty cockroach on the floor right off my bed. That was, I kicked off of my leg, and they give me the willies. I just don't like it. And this was a big dude, and I smashed it with my shoe, and I'm like, what am I doing? I need to get back into real estate. I could sleep in my own bed, and I made a lot more money.
Right.
I've had my little, I need, get away from real estate. I'm back. So I came back in 16, was with Realty World, and then learned about eXp. So I learned about eXp 10 years after I left KW.
Okay.
I left in 09, KW, and then came back, or came into real estate 16, and then in 19, like December, joined eXp.
Okay. And how did you wind up getting with eXp? What was the catalyst? Was there a phone call? Did you see a poster?
Phone call. Nope. Phone call from my buddy Don Yoakum and Tom Daves. Don, who recruited me from Coldwell Banker to Keller Williams, was now at eXp, and so they called and they said, "Hey, you should take a look at this." And I said, "Nah, man, I've done that on the whole profit." And they go, "No, it's not profit. That's at the bottom." They had to explain the whole thing,
right?
And kind of give me ideas of numbers, and I'm like, "Oh, so okay, like 200,000. That is a game changer." Okay, yeah,
much different.
Because my wife and I had paid off our debt.
Right.
From our first year of marriage, we paid off $100,000 of debt going through Dave Ramsey, and we eventually started teaching Dave Ramsey Financial Peace at our church. And so we were really resolute about no longer having debt. So we paid off $100,000 our first year of marriage, and we lived below our means. We have a budget. And so I'm like, oh, with no car debt, no credit card debt, no housing debt, no school debt, no medical debt, no whatever comes in, very little flows out. It kind of stays in and builds up. I'm like, with 200,000 of residual income, I could travel the world. So I went to work.
Excellent story. Mentoring, contacting, and attracting. Is there a big difference with those different words? And if there is a difference as far as you're concerned, can you explain to the audience what makes eXp a brokerage that doesn't have a bunch of recruiters, but we have attractors?
Yeah, that's interesting. I think the perception is that eXp has a bunch of recruiters.
Mm-hmm.
That's the same expectation that all the agents outside of Keller Williams had when I joined KW in 2000.
Right.
All you guys is recruit. They didn't know KW, Keller Williams, and they would get phone calls and all that for the whole profit share thing. And that's what I don't want to be a recruiter. Like all the same stuff that we hear agents say about eXp, or they're saying about any of the other 50 plus copycat brokerages out there that are direct result of eXp changing the industry.
Exactly. For sure.
Right. I mean, literally changing like KW did 25, 30 years ago. There was a shift in the real estate industry, and all credit goes to KW and Gary Keller and all that. Well, we got to give credit where credit's due. There's a huge shift in the industry now, 30 years later, because of Glenn Sanford and eXp and that vision of cloud-based and and all this stuff, and giving revenue off the top to its agents to help grow, and becoming a big difference between KW is they're a franchise model, right? So they have Gary had like 400 plus bosses because he sold franchises for like 250,000 each.
Right.
And territories, and don't come into my territory, all that stuff. We don't have that at eXp.
Right.
eXp is one brokerage that's publicly traded. It's not a franchise. It's one brokerage that covers East Coast to West Coast. If you can kind of wrap it, it's never been done before in real estate.
Right.
Right.
And it makes sense.
Not
just, and it makes a lot of sense when you look at the model.
It does now, but it had never been done, and so people are like, "Is that even legal?" I mean, in the beginning, at least when I came, and it wasn't the beginning. It's been around now 16 years. It's not a new company.
Right.
You'd have people say, "Is that some pyramid scheme? Is it legal?" I think it's illegal. Like, people just say stuff, just uneducated. They don't know what they're talking about, but they say something just to sound intelligent. Well, all that's been proven untrue, and I hate to even say debunked, because it was never really
wasn't a story to begin with, except for except for the naysayers.
I mean, we're publicly traded, publicly traded on NASDAQ.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Publicly traded company can't be
$2+ billion.
Exactly. So quick question, and thank you very much for all the time that you spent. I really appreciate it.
This is great.
If I was an agent that wasn't really happy with where I was, what would you say to them, and how can they get in contact with us or with you if they needed or wanted more information?
Well, I'd say have them get in touch with you first.
Okay.
Right? You're the one that got me on the call here. And
okay.
I'm happy to support you and help you. You're in my organization. And I mean, really, honestly, I'm happy to help and support anybody at eXp, whether you're in my organization or not. I think that's how the real leaders at eXp are. And that's how I was kind of trained up or mentored up or modeled, from Brent Gove. And so it's like, no, just help everyone. Raise up the industry, raise up. And I think that, from Glenn Sanford down, we really want, and Leo Pereira, our CEO, we really want
that was dynamic
to win.
Yes.
And and when there's a shift in the industry, and maybe you're a late comer, you feel like, oh, it's too late. I was approached 5, 10, 15 years ago at eXp. I said, no, I should have done it. But it's not too late. It's not too late. We're actually coming into our second wave of growth. There's different waves of growth in the progression of a business growing.
Right.
And most people go, oh, if you got in on the ground floor, that first wave of growth, right? You'd be set today. Yeah, maybe not. It was rough road. I mean, it's like dirt roads, potholes. Oh, we got some gravel here.
Right.
It's not some like 4-lane expressway like we got now.
Exactly.
I would say it's probably easier now because we're vetted and proven. We're the leader in the industry of cloud-based by far. We've changed the industry. So there's no question on whether it's legal and is it a pyramid scheme. All that stuff is just nonsense now.
Right.
Now it's the aspect of, well, I see these others that are saying hey, did you miss the boat with eXp? Well, don't miss it with, this brand,
Yeah.
XYZ,
Yeah.
blah, blah, blah,
Mhm.
right? Get in on the ground floor here. Well, what's interesting, we a lot of those copycat companies won't be around in 3, 4, 5, 6 years
Not at all.
because you got to have a point of critical mass to be able to get to a point where you're profitable and so on. And it's a big lift
Mhm.
to get open in all 50 states and have brokers, that are knowledgeable and competent in each of those. And like the whole thing. In fact, Glenn Sanford is quoted as saying, if he were to restart EXP today, like these copycats
Mhm.
that are coming up now, we're going to be like EXP, but better. It would cost him well over $1 billion to get it to a point where EXP is today. I think it might have been 2 billion, but I'll just say $1 billion to be
Right.
safe. I know it was billion,
Mhm.
so at least 1 billion. You think about that. Where do you raise those funds? Where are you going to get? And you're going to go head to head against the market leader. It's like, hey, we're going to go after Amazon.
Yeah,
Like who,
that might
they're
not work.
so far ahead and so established. You would have to burn so much money to even get to a point of relevancy.
Right.
Let me ask you, here's a great example. Who's the third best ride sharing app? Exactly.
Yeah.
No one knows.
Only one you know of is Uber and Lyft at this
And
point.
Lyft is a distant second,
Yes.
actually.
Yes.
Uber is so far ahead, right?
Mhm.
So it's the early adopter advantage, early mover advantage. The EXP is so head and shoulders above.
Mhm.
And then when you sit down and you really look at the comparisons of the models of these that, hey, we're like EXP, but better. And you look and you go, oh, yeah, we actually had those thoughts and things years ago and vetted it and realized it's not a sustainable path.
Right. So
That's a mistake.
we adopted.
They're going to have to make changes.
Exactly.
So the very thing that they're like, oh, but we do this and it's so much, this widget here is like amazing. And it can draw some people, agents that don't understand the true business models, and really with someone knowledgeable like you or I that could explain it, they may fall into that trap and go join there
Mhm.
and market themselves and build themselves up, and then that company folds,
Exactly.
goes under,
Exactly.
right?
Mhm.
So so you got a already proven model. You have a profitable model with EXP. There's not one other copycat that's profitable as of this recording.
Okay.
There's not one other that's actually truly profitable.
And none of the ones that are attempting to do the copycat thing are publicly traded either, are they?
No, there's a few that are going, but here's another thing I learned that I didn't even know. They went about it in the, or I should say that when Glenn went publicly traded, he did it in I don't want to say a backdoor way. That may not be the right description, and I'm not super knowledgeable in all this, but
Mhm.
there's like a standard way of going public and, and going, taking your company public and all that
Right.
stuff.
Right.
It's very costly, and the owners lose a lot of ownership in the company as they're raising funds and doing the whole thing.
Mhm.
Okay.
Right.
But Glenn actually didn't go that route where he went through the public offering and all this stuff. He actually bought from what I understand, he bought an existing company. So he was already listed and went that route or something. Now I could be off a little bit on the details, so don't shoot the messenger, but I just know for a fact he did a little differently. And so that's why Glenn has 55, I believe, percent ownership, or 51 or whatever, still to this day, 16 years later.
Mhm.
And he's one of the deciding, like the buck stops with him in regards to the company.
Right. Because
some people may say,
owns more than 50%.
Yeah, some people may say, well, that's not good. Well, no, actually, because these over here that went and sold all their money, gave their money up, right, to raise, gave their ownership up to raise funds.
Mm-hmm.
In one of the companies in particular, the owner owns less than 7%. He's not even the decision maker on things. It's got to go through a board, and the board members, very few of them, sales, like boots on ground real estate sales knowledge. Glenn actually, his last year, ran a $60 million team production. So like all of our leaders in our company
Mm-hmm.
are all former sales people selling homes, doing real estate. So they have the mindset of a real estate agent, And therefore, when they make decisions for the company, they think of the Michaels and the Matt
Mm-hmm.
and so on. Will it impact our realtors? Because that's really who our client
Yes.
is our nearly 90,000 realtors worldwide, not who are the stockholders and the board of directors and and all this,
Right.
trying to please them, and they're not real estate people.
Yeah. That's a bad proposition.
Well, I as a realtor, if you know that, who would you want to hang your license with if you're going to build your brand and not pop around from company to company and company? Because most realtors say that they're like, I don't want to be jumping around companies all the time. Great, come to eXp, which is proven profitable, is on an upward trend of growth after 16 years still, and
Mm-hmm.
we're coming into our second wave of growth.
Yes,
Our
most
second
definitely.
wave of growth is actually bigger than the first,
Mm-hmm.
because the first is not proven. You're kind
Right.
of betting on the come, and is this really going to turn out? And
Exactly.
already proven, already profitable. Let's go.
Yeah. Open the door. Come on in.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Well, I think we're gonna leave it there. I'm gonna let you get back to the high flying adventures of of you and Lexi. I'll also tag you guys' travel channel in the comments or in the description. Is there anything else? Any other communication or any other information you want anybody to have to be able to reach out to you guys?
Well, I think they should reach out to you
Okay,
directly, and then you definitely connect us. I mean,
I
we're
got it.
realtors. We're not hidden. It's Matthew
Understood.
Stewart, Matthew Stewart Real Estate out of Sacramento. But you mentioned the Empty Nester Diaries, our YouTube travel channel,
Yes.
and I'll leave you with that because, and it's not. I'm not bringing it up in an aspect of like, oh, look at me and Lexi. I'm bringing it up as an aspect of this was not possible in the other models of real estate that I've done for the last 34 or 24 years.
Mm-hmm.
The last 6 years of being with eXp and getting stock ownership as an agent. And then on top of that, by being able to take advantage of the revenue share opportunity while still selling homes and earning commissions. So, like multiple streams of income,
Mm-hmm.
it's produced a freedom for Lexi and I that we're actually on a nearly 90-day trip right now,
Right.
traveling,
So
right?
you guys still are in production, and you guys still have a team that you guys kind of run as a team along with the other, or are you more so now on the administrative side of attracting agents
Yeah,
to your team?
good question. So no, I used to have a production team and so on. I learned my lessons when I went through KW and built a production team. I don't want a production team now. We could certainly build one again and do that, and that seems to be the normal progression from individual agent to what do I do now? I guess I'll build a team because I'm doing more sales. I need some help. But the reality is the vast majority of teams created a job. They're like, I got to give leads to my people to make them happy and keep them and not lose them. I got to pay money to get leads. And then the leads I'm giving to my people, I could convert them way better than them.
Right.
And they're not converting, and they're losing the people. And I paid money for that lead. So I'm
Right.
losing money for paying for the lead, and I'm losing money by not converting it myself and making a sale.
Gotcha.
And then I'm in management mode. I'm doing all the weekly sales meetings to provide value to my team, and like it's a whole different thing. My personal production went down when I started building a team, and I was hoping to get it back and increase it through the efforts of other people. And it just got into management, and then basically what I was doing was training my competitors.
Right.
So they would leave me after a year, get all my secrets and all my training and all my stuff, and become a very successful agent.
In the
And
same
they're in my
area.
marketplace
Yeah.
competing.
In the same market. Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, I don't want that, but I love the aspect of attracting other agents to eXp and being part of my revenue share organization, like you and your lovely bride.
Mm-hmm.
I'm no longer really competing. We're still in production, but it's just Lexi and I, and we just do, honestly, we're doing like less than a deal a month. We could do more. I
Right.
have the talent and the knowledge. I don't want to. Like,
It's referrals. It's previous clients. It's just low
yeah, we
hanging
pick and
fruit,
choose.
so to speak. Yeah.
Yeah, we pick and choose, and then if I don't want to work with a client or we're traveling, I'll give it to one of my agents that I recruited over. That's a standalone agent, but they're in my revenue share eXp
Mm-hmm.
organization. I go, hey, Marion, I got and I got that residual income from the revenue share, and we got our stock, and and then you invest in real estate, you get rental properties and stuff like that, and you
Right.
you start building these other income streams so that you can get off the transactional treadmill at some point.
Most definitely. Well, again, thank you very much. I appreciate your time. You guys have a safe trip. How many days do you guys have left on the 90? 45?
I don't even know. So like we'll be back December 4th. We left on I'm sorry, December 4th. We left on September 5th.
Okay.
So it's nearly 90 days.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe with October 31, it is 90 days. But and that's all just us playing and having fun as a husband and wife, and at the same time we're building our YouTube travel channel, which is eventually another income stream. And
Exactly.
that's the Empty Nester Diaries.
Yes, sir.
Come check us out.
Well, again, thank you very much. I appreciate it. And hey, we'll talk soon.
I love it.
Thank
Sounds
you.
good. You bet.